So today our first topic is what is accounting. So generally, accounting means keeping record of something. But in a double entry system, accounting can be defined as an information system. So we'll write a one sentence definition of accounting and then we'll discuss the definition of accounting. So we can say that accounting is an information system that identifies, records, and communicates the economic events of an organization to interested users. So again I repeat, accounting is an information system that identifies, records, and communicates the economic events of an organization to interested users. So our basic concept of keeping record, but if we see the definition, it is said that accounting is an information system. So what is information system? Information system means collecting the information, then store the information, organize the information, and finally communicate the information. This is called an information system. So the basic concept of accounting is to discuss with some information. So question arises, which information should be discussed under accounting? So that is, the answer is also given in the definition that accounting will discuss about the economic events of an organization. So accounting main purpose is to use the economic events of a specific organization. So now the question arises, after getting the economic event, what we have to do? So first of all, we have to identify this information, then we have to keep record of those transactions, and finally the result should be communicated to the interested users. So now we will explain the specific terms used in this definition. So first is identifies. So what we have to identify? So we can say that identify the economic events that are relevant to the organization. So question may arise, what is relevant? So relevant means related to the organization. So we will give an example about how to identify an economic event. Suppose Beximco company buy a car of 20 lakh for the company use. Then Mr. X, who is the one of the owner of the Beximco company, also purchased a car of Taka 20 lakh. And finally, we can say Square company also purchased a car of Taka 20 lakh. So, if my question is, identify the economic events of Beximco Limited. So the answer should be only the first one, because this 20 lakh has been expensed by Beximco company. So the financial position of Beximco is changing. So that's why that should be recorded as an economic event. This is also an economic event for Mr. X, the personal use of Mr. X, but Beximco company should not record the personal record of any other person. So that is not relevant to the Beximco company. The third option was Square company purchased a car. That is also an economic event for Square company's perspective. But as an employee of Beximco Limited, I should not record that event under the Beximco company's recording system. So that means we have to identify the economic event that are directly related to the organization. Now, our next topic is recording. So this is the second activities of accounting. There are three activities of accounting. One is identify, then record, and communication. So already we have discussed what is identify. So now we'll discuss what is record. After identification of economic event, we have to record the economic events. So there are some steps in the recording process. So first step is record the economic events in chronological order. So what do you mean by chronological order? So chronological order means sequentially, serially. So that means under accounting system we have to record the economic event in sequential order. So which sequence we have to follow? Under accounting system, we have to follow date-wise transaction. So when any economic event occurs, that should be recorded by using the date. This is called chronological order. So what is the benefit of this chronological order? The benefit is, if we want to search details of a specific economic event, that is possible if we record simultaneously, sequentially. Otherwise, it is difficult to find out any specific economic event. We can give an example of a dictionary. In a dictionary, word meaning are found, and these word meaning are sequentially ordered. That means the dictionary is used alphabetically. So if there is a 5001 in a dictionary and that is not in a sequential order, and if I am looking for one word from those 5001, it would be very difficult. So if we can arrange the economic event date-wise, that will be very helpful to identify the specific accounting events. So the second step of recording is classification. So it is true that we have to record the economic event in chronological order first, but that is not the end. So we have to find out the result from those economic events, but chronological order is not giving us the result of anything. So that's why the second step is classification. That means the same features of an event should be recorded separately. Suppose in a day there are several events occur. Like we have paid for taxi of Taka 500. We are purchasing pen of 200. We are giving a rickshaw fare of 50. Then we buy some stapler for 100. Advertising made of Taka 2000. Then pencil may be buy for Taka 50. Salary is giving by 5,000. And finally, we are going to pay some auto rickshaw fare or CNG auto rickshaw fare of 300. Suppose these are the some event that is occurred during a day. So in a one day, in an organization there may be 20, 30, 50 economic event can be occurred. So in a week that could be 500 events may be occur in a week, 1,000 or more than 1,000 in a month, and we can say around 10 to 15,000 event can be occur in a year. But if we consider only 1 week, and after 1 week the supervisor is asked how much we have spent for transportation purpose. So from the chronological order of a week of 500, where 500 events are occurred, if we looking for the transportation related activity like taxi, rickshaw and auto rickshaw fare, so out of this 500 event, we have to search for each and every chronological item, and then we are going to find and calculate the specific event occur related to transportation and calculate them in a calculator maybe. But it would take time. So maybe after 10 minutes I found that after 1 week we are spending 3,000 relating to the transportation. But when you are saying to your boss that I have already calculated that 3,000 is expense due to transportation, boss may be asked, then how much you spend relating to stationery? So then what we have to do? We have to find the list of 500 events and find out the stationery item where it is occurred, like pen, pencil and stapler, like that. So it is a very difficult one to find out separately. So that's why we need a classification. We should create a separate class for each and every new category of item. So of course we have to record in chronological order first to know the specific details of any transaction, but that is not give any result to us, so that's why we have to prepare classification. So classification is keeping record same category of economic event in a separate account. Like along with the chronological order we have prepared in the first step, we should also prepare a separate class for separate kind of activities. Like we can prepare a classroom, prepare a classroom for the transportation, where only the transportation related activities are recorded under this account. So when a taxi fare occur, we should write in chronological order also, and we have to also put this information under a separate class named transportation. So then, if we can see the next item is pen, that means it is related to stationery. So that should not be posted to the transportation class. That means we have to prepare a separate classroom for the stationery items. Then we can see that the rickshaw fare of Taka 50, this is related to transportation, then we can also record it under transportation. So So then stat card, it is related to stationery, so we can keep this record under the stationery classroom. And then advertising, this is not matched with transportation or stationery. This is a new category of item, so we need to create a new account that should be named advertising expense. So in this way, we have to prepare a separate account for separate activities. So now, if after 1 week or 1 month or 1 year, boss asked to determine the total transportation cost, total stationery cost, total advertising or salary cost, we can easily find out from this classification, because we have the same category of information are recorded in under a specific head, so we can easily identify the total amount of each and every item or each and every category of used in this business. So this is called classification. The third step of recording is summarizing. So summarize means we have to prepare a summary report that people can understand, because in 1 year there might be thousands of economic events and it can be used 100, 200 class. But so if we prepare a report of 200 accounts in a separate sheet, it needs minimum 200 pages. But one user should not understand by reading this 200 pages. So we have to prepare a summary report for the understanding of the user. So that's why our third step of recording is summarizing. So their summary report is prepared after a specific time period, that is called financial statement. Because from the classification, yes, we can find out the total of each and every category, but we cannot find any income or loss or total asset or liability amount from this classification stage. That's why we have to go for summarizing stage, which will summarize the whole information and also get result to take decision for the company. So preparing financial accounting reports are should be prepared under this summarizing stage. So these are the three, this is the second activities that we have discussed. So the last activity of the accounting is the communication. So this is the third activity of accounting. So what is communication? That means we have to provide information to the others that people can understand. Without understanding, that would not be a successful communication. So communication can be one way or two way. So we are preparing accounting report from the recording stage. But if the users of accounting do not understand the accounting reports, they cannot take any decision. So that's why communication stage includes the understanding of accounting information to the users, that users can understand the information and take the decision correctly. For proper understanding, communication stage use two tools. One is analyze, another one is interpret. So what is analyze? That means the main accounting report may not be understood by the general users. So that's why we can additionally prepare some document an analysis on each and every item used in the financial accounting report. So like a ratio analysis, then graphical analysis, then statistical analysis may be used for the better understanding and for taking decision of the users. The second tools is interpret. There might be some of the users who do not understand the basic financial report and also the analyzing part. But what we can do, we can interpret our result to the human language, that means in English or Bengali. So if we can explain those analysis results in English or Bengali in the annual report, that would be very easier for the users to understand what is going on in the business, and it will be very helpful to take correct decision for the company. So these are the three basic activities of accounting.